Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Sonia Siddiqui, and joining us again today are Rebecca and Christina from My Relo Solution. Hi, ladies.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So these ladies have presented a previous webinar for us for newcomers, and we're very happy to have them back because today they'll be focusing on how students can settle into their life in Canada. So I'm really excited for them to present this topic today. But before we move forward, I just want to make sure that everyone understands how the webinar will work. So you are all on listen only mode and we will not be able to hear you, but these ladies will be taking questions after the presentation. For that, please type your questions into the Q&A tab found at the bottom of your screen, and after the presentation, your questions will be taken up. For best results, please use a laptop or a desktop computer. If you are using mobile devices such as tablets or cell phones, I recommend downloading the Zoom app. It's super easy to use and you get better quality watching the webinar as well. And your feedback is always important to us, so please do fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. Also, all of our webinars are always recorded, so you will get a recording after the webinar, or you can use the same Zoom registration link that you used today to log in a few hours. That will turn into the recording as well. And all of our recordings are posted on our YouTube channel at the end of the month. Just to tell you a little bit about ACCESS, we've been around for over 30 years helping job seekers such as yourselves. Just in the past year alone, we were able to serve over 34,000 job seekers. We work with over 2,200 employer connections, which include different various employers, sponsors, community partners, and several other associations as well. We have over 30 tailored programs, which include our sector-specific bridging programs, programs for youth, programs for women, programs for refugees. So check out our website to see if you'd be eligible for any of these programs. We've got 7 locations in the GTA. Currently, everything is being held online, so take advantage and you can attend any of our programs from the comfort of your own home. And I'm going to hand it over to Rebecca to share her screen.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I appreciate it. I just gonna launch the presentation. I hope you can see it all. Well, I would like to introduce myself, so get a little bit of a background, who we are and myself, how I immigrated into Canada. So My Relo Solution got created about a year and a half ago, where Christina and I, who's on the call as well, we decided and realized that we have gained a lot of experience in regards to international settling down in Canada. So myself, I'm located in the east of Canada. That's currently in Ottawa, but I have actually myself settled in Toronto first, and Christina is located in Alberta on the west coast in Calgary. So today we wanted just to give you a little bit of an overview about settling in for international students. And I myself, I came actually through the skilled worker program in 2010. And since then, I have, built my career again in that industry. And we are very proud to be able to present today. And without further ado, I just wanted to go to our first steps because I'm pretty sure we have a lot of questions afterwards. So we want to talk first today about the pre-arrival steps. So when coming as an international student, you want to consider the pre-arrival process about a month or two ahead. Just don't think about the post-arrival steps, but also the pre-arrival steps. So why is that important? It is important because you are possibly focused a lot on your visa application. You're working possibly with an agency or you're working yourself. You have applied, to different options, but there are also other documents, especially when you come to Canada, you might want to consider and collect before coming. Before going into this call, we actually had a good talk about also clarifying the ACCES in regards to attending university and colleges. That's very important. So if you do come as an international student, it is not just one fits all. It is in regards to your needs, because you may have come to different channels such as visa statuses. So each client is a little bit individual. So we're just going to touch base on certain documents and information, but unfortunately, it is that each client will have some differences, just depends on which country they're coming from, or which area, which province they're going to settle down here in Canada. So part number one is collecting documents. So one of the things is, if you do collect the documents before coming to Canada, why is it important, and kind of the major ones I wanted to mention here today. So one of them is the international driver license. So if you do feel that you may want to drive in the country, you want to make sure that you have that prepared before you come to the country. If you do not consider driving, maybe based on also because some areas are heavily under winter conditions. So if you're not used to that, and you are most likely to be, driving in countries where there's a little bit more, sun, it's a whole different story of driving. So you might want to consider also the public transportation. So public transportation is one part where Christina will cover that as well later on. So it depends on when you're coming, make sure that you know which kind of transportation you will be using here in this country, because that depends on also where you're gonna find your accommodation. And that's one of the things we would like to mention as well is there's 2 or 3 different options. So one of them is, of course, being on campus. The other one is finding your own accommodation outside of the campus, or having also the opportunity, maybe if you come with your parents, some of them do and some not, finding that accommodation. So again, each step of defining the accommodation is a little bit geared towards the client's needs. So please let us know if you have any questions about that. Accommodation, we declared in 4 different categories. One of them I mentioned already is going on campus. The other one is corporate housing, or even renting with a house, or even be able to stay with your parents in a different accommodation. So each client will be a little different. So we'll talk about this more in detail later. Number 3 is also the travel or medical insurance. We want to make sure that you have also the important papers that are required when you come here. Yes, you will be insured. In regards to insurance when coming here to Canada, but it is very important to understand that not every single medical insurance is covered by province. So as you mentioned, each province, university you may attend, there's different rules they apply. So we just want to make sure that you understand that, yes, you will be covered with the insurance, but you might want to think about getting a private insurance just to cover certain things that's dental. Usually dental is not included, so just make sure that you consider that as well. Or also the medication you're taking in your home country, if you have enough stock available. Another important document in regards to that is make sure that you have your international student card available for getting certain reductions when you travel within Canada. Some of them offer student special. So check in with your home country or with your university here on site. And at this point, I would like to pass it on to Christina, who will be talking more about the post-arrival steps. And thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Christina, and I'm a co-founder of My Real Solution with Rebecca. As Rebecca mentioned, I'm in Calgary, Alberta, currently based, but I'm also an immigrant who arrived approximately 10 years ago. I came through a family sponsorship, so a little bit different story than coming as an international student or through skilled workers program. Canada was not my first international relocation. I lived in a couple of other countries in the Middle East and Europe before I moved here. But definitely it was one of the most challenging and the longest settling in terms of understanding the system in Canada. How does it work? What steps needs to be taken, when you arrive to the country, and how is it actually going to affect your future life in Canada? So originally, our services were mainly focused on individuals in a different visa status, more like PR or skilled workers coming here. But very quickly, we realized that students, international students, also need our help. So we created our My Relo Solution International Student Services. Rebecca did mention and cover a lot of very important pre-arrival steps that are important and helpful when you are settling down. So I would like to go through what to do once you arrive to Canada. Now, the first step would be a suggestion to get a local phone number. A lot of us are communicating nowadays in alternative ways, such as WhatsApp, Skype, Messenger, FaceTime, and not necessarily using or needing local numbers. You will need this in Canada to be able to register for any kind of government services, benefits, school programs, other community things, networking, even if you decide, to work in Canada. So it's very important to have a local number. Now, internet access, I think it's very obvious for students. You will need it anyway because you need it for your studies. But I would just like to mention it, not to forget about it from the very beginning. Most of the services programs right now are only available and reachable online, especially due to COVID-19. So it's a good idea to have internet access from day one if possible. The second step would be to get a SIN number. Now, a SIN number is a social insurance number in Canada. It's a 9-digit number, and it's specific to all individuals who are living, working in Canada. You will need this to be able to work, to pay your taxes, to access government services. It may not seem from the very beginning as the most important thing, but in my opinion, a lot of international students, when they come to Canada, their long-term goal is to stay in the country, is to eventually find a job, start a career, and settle down. So in the long term, the earlier you start having a SIN number, building, like a credit history and score, the easier it's going to be after you finish your studies to start a full life in Canada. Bank account. In Canada, most people are using debit cards, credit cards, and online banking. Cash is not really a very widely accepted payment form, though they do accept, of course, but they prefer debit and credit cards. So opening a bank account is very important. Getting your first credit card in Canada is, again, super important because you need to start building a credit history and credit score. A credit history and score pretty much gives an information about how do you borrow money and how do you pay it back. The better the score you have, the easier it's going to be later on to get credit, get a mortgage, and the lower interest rates you will end up paying on these borrowed money. So definitely recommend to get a Canadian credit card as soon as possible, with maybe a very small limit at the beginning, and start building a credit history. A health card. So as Rebecca mentioned, students are generally covered by provincial healthcare in Canada. So you can apply for your health card as soon as you have a confirmed address, residency, so you know where you will be receiving this. And then approximately 6 to 8 weeks from the time you applied, you will receive your health card. You can go and visit the doctor if you need to. You will need to check with your institution about what kind of additional health coverages they offer. In some cases they do, in some cases they don't. So you might want to think about, extending that private medical insurance that you might want to get before you arrive to Canada. Now, let's talk about driving and public transportation. It's a very important subject in Canada due to distances, due to the weather. Now, for those of you who will be staying maybe in one of the major cities in the downtown area where you are walking distance, from your school, you don't really need to think a lot about transportation. Public transportation is available in all major cities. There are student passes, just like anywhere else in the world, where you can use within city limit all the public transportation options unlimited. If that's not the case, if your accommodation is maybe further away and you need to find a transportation option, maybe it's too long, maybe you want to drive or anything like that, then you need to learn what is required for you to get a local driver's license. If you already had a driver's license in your previous country, in your home country, then it's fairly easy for international students. You do need to ensure this driver's license is still valid, you're driving the same vehicle, and that you do have an international driver's license, meaning you do have the English or French translation of your original license. If you never had a driver license before, that's a different story. You can ask us, we can help you with how to guide you how to get a local license. Other options than public transportation and driving, there are in most cities, Uber is available, taxis are available. During the summertime or the weather is not so cold and snowy, it's becoming very popular to use electric bikes or scooters and such in cities. If you end up driving, you need to think about, like vehicle, what options do you have, whether you buy or rent, and also car insurance. So if there is anybody who need help with this, you can just ask us and we can guide you through purchasing car insurances and such. You will need to find a permanent accommodation for sure while you are in Canada. In the pre-arrival steps, we mentioned that it's a good idea to start searching for accommodation before you arrive. The reason being is that not every city and every institution has the same, let's say, services or options. So in some cases, yes, you will be able to maybe stay on campus and it's super easy. In some cases, some institutions might have a housing program. So if you can't stay on campus, they are still able to provide you with assistance in housing. If none of these are available, maybe they don't have it, or maybe because they are full, then you need to think about, okay, what now? So there are still at least 3 more options, that you can consider. One, there might be another student who rented a place and is looking for a roommate. So that's an option. You might want to get your own accommodation rent and then, maybe find roommates, maybe stay on your own. In this case, you need to think about rental agreement, what kind of bills there are to be paid, what is rental insurance, how you're going to manage it. If let's say, this is the option you have to rent on your own and you are maybe not confident enough, to take care of everything, or you just don't want the hassle, then there is always the option of temporary accommodation providers. In this case, it is probably one of the most expensive options, but there is a company, they manage the apartment for you, all the utility bills and such, the internet is included. In some cases, you get a parking spot. In some cases, it's an extra fee. Sometimes even bi-weekly cleaning can be included or excluded. So there are different options, but that's why we suggest you start resourcing and understanding where your school is going to be, what kind of city you are going to be at, what are the options, so you can make a decision. Do you need to adjust your budget? Maybe yes, maybe not. Is public transportation really going to be an option based on distances? Yes or not? You might, in this case, have to consider driving. So it's really good to be prepared and learn what your options are before you come, because it may not be what you expected originally. Now, rental insurance, again, if you have to rent on your own, that's something you need to consider. In some cases, you don't have to consider it. Once you found your accommodation, you're settled in, most of the things are taken care of. Now you start going to school. And of course, the question of can I work as a student in Canada comes up. Well, the answer is yes or no, maybe. It really depends on the province you are, the institution you are studying at, and on your visa status. So the rules don't apply for all international students the same way. It depends on, again, what opportunities there are and what the government has given you a permission to do. You need to check that. You can talk to, if you work with an immigration agency, your student advisor, you can, eventually even ask us. We can help clarify these questions for you for sure. But let's just cover a couple of options that you might have and how you might go about starting a career or just working as a student. So there are three options. One, you can, if it's an option, you can potentially work on campus at your school. This is something your student advisor can answer you. A second option, if you are allowed and eligible, you might be able to work off campus. Um, there are companies or there are opportunities, where you can apply and get certain types of jobs and make money. Don't forget, taxation and everything comes into play as well in this case. And the third option is volunteering. So eventually when you volunteer, you don't get paid, but it gives you a great opportunity to learn about your new country, your new city, your school, your community. It gives you an opportunity to meet people, whether it's just, building friendships or, for future networking opportunities. These people you never know might help you with your career later on. Also, it's a very important thing that maybe students don't understand is that you can actually gain Canadian experience, which is going to help you a lot once you decide to maybe stay in this country once you finish school or start building your career. This is one of the things where most newcomers, it doesn't matter what program they use to come to Canada, that they are finding a challenge when they start to look for a job and they want to work, is that a lot of employers are concerned because they may not have Canadian experience. So volunteering is definitely, or even, working as a student, it's a good option, an opportunity to gain some of that experience. Now, for me, the last 2 points is that working or starting a career is one thing. You still need help. And there are a lot of organizations and groups and associations that can help you with CV writing, preparing you for interviews potentially, giving you a support and an understanding about the Canadian work environment. Access employment, I'm pretty sure that they have a lot of amazing programs that can help you with this. So I would definitely recommend, if you are thinking about working, thinking about building a career, starting a career in Canada, that you look for these programs. Again, we can help you with this, and there are workshops, networks, groups, and that you learn as much as possible and use their support to get into working and careers. I would also recommend as a newcomer and as an international student to look for different social clubs, meetup places, networking opportunities and groups for international students to start building a community around you, a network that you might be able to use. Some organizations that help international students, they also have mentoring opportunities. And most of these places are available free for you. So you can learn about them, you can join them and take advantage, and it's going to make your experience and future a lot more enjoyable here in Canada when you have people surrounding you who understand you, who went through maybe the same thing. And these are the steps I think that we would recommend for you to consider. I will give it back to Rebecca. And don't forget, we do have student services packages, and we can absolutely help you with every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. I hope that was That was a good start, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. At this point, we are done with our presentation. We do have listed our information, the website, the email address where you can connect with us if you do have any further questions, or if you do like to follow us. We do post every week, also through the holidays. We are available as well. So if you do have any questions or if you like to connect with us, feel free to use this information as well. And I would say at this point, Sonia, do we have already some questions we like to ask? Please put your questions in the Q&A box. If you do have any questions, we are now here for the last half an hour where we are together. We are happy to answer any questions you may have. Just please put them in the Q&A, and Sonia is gonna take over at this point, and we're just gonna guide you through that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there are some questions here. So I guess this might be for ACCES. Do we provide employment support for international students? We do provide employment support depending on your visa status. So if you want to find out more, connect with us, call us, call your closest ACCES location, and we'll be able to see if you're eligible or not. So yeah, it will, just like Rebecca and Christina mentioned, it varies for everyone if we can do that. But yes, call one of your closest ACCES location and we'll be happy to help you out. Next question here is, where can I look for accommodations prior to coming to Canada?
Christina, do you want to take it or should I?
You can go ahead.
Sure. So for accommodation, as Christina mentioned, there's different options. So first of all, you need to find out which university or college, of course, you will be attending. From there, I would start connecting with the university or college, what offers they offer. And then from there, I would if you want, you can connect with us. So we do have on our homepage per city, like a booking map where you can see initial prices in the city. And also, as Christina mentioned, there are options where we can, for you, based on your needs and budget, we can source for you accommodation. So if you like, you can send us an email or you can chat with us. We also have a live chat on our webpage. If you want, we can also, if you feel, we can also send a quick email at info@myrealsolution and ask us what accommodation you're looking for, the time frame, if you're looking to stay on the campus. Are you looking for accommodation with furniture or without furniture? So there are some places they do have the furnished apartments and there are some they don't have the furnished apartments. So it depends on how long you stay. You might also want to consider the furnished apartment because you don't have to pay for extra, cutlery and beds and mattress and TV. So this kind of stuff is already included. So if you do have any questions, just let us know. We can also send you the 4-step system we have in place so that you get a better overview where you can find your accommodation. One of the tips and one of the things I wanted to verify is also, if you use the internet and you search, let's say, Kijiji or Craigslist, like online proposals, online apartments, be careful. We always say, if an offer is too good, there's something not right. So get to know the prices of the city where you want to stay, like a 1 or 2 bedroom. Just make sure that you don't give any private information on this internet channels because that can be used in different ways, especially your SIN number. If you do have already maybe possibly a SIN number, do not give this information out to anybody. At this point, if you want to rent an apartment, it is not necessary to give any of this information. So if something, let's say in the whole city, an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment costs like $1,500 and you find something for $500, please be careful. So just make sure you kind of know roughly where your prices are and what you're searching for. But again, we can also send you some information about that. Just get in touch with us.
Thank you. And upon arriving in Canada, what are some health insurance options for students or dependents or spouses?
You mean like what are the health insurance options like in private medical coverages?
I think so. I'm not sure. Like, what kind of coverages do students get when they come to Canada? Would they be
I
covered under OHIP, or would they have to get their own insurance, or for spouses and dependents?
No, they do get a provincial medical coverage. That's for the basics. And beyond that, as I mentioned, you need to check with your institutions because there are some institutions who are offering either included extended medical coverages or for a lot better price than going to a private insurance company. But if your institution is not offering anything beyond the basics, there are multiple insurance companies who are offering all sorts of packages and coverages, individually or for family. So it really depends on what you actually get from your school. And once you know that, then we can even send you links where you can do a comparison before insurances.
Okay, thank you. And do you provide any support for like help with graduate applications?
You mean for who graduated from school and looking to for jobs?
I'm not sure. Maybe to apply to schools?
We
Yeah,
don't do
could
we don't do school applications if
okay.
that's the
Okay.
question.
Okay, thank you. And what is the basic coverage for students for health insurance? Like, what does that cover?
It really depends. It depends on their individual circumstance because what they need to be, included, like what kind of coverages, that you can pick and choose like an a la carte. Do you want dental? Do you want, like chiropractor? Would you like a subscription medicine? Are there any previous health concerns? Like it really depends.
Thank you. I don't see any more questions up here. Oh, I've got another one here. Um, do you have any information about finding a master's or PhD position after coming to Canada with a PR visa? Okay, so this is for employment purposes. There's jobs available based on your experience. So again, when you do come to Canada, get in touch with us and someone will start helping you with your job search. Especially if you have your PR, you're eligible to work in Canada, and it depends on your experience. We can work with you to help you out and see if we can support you.
Um, I'm sorry, I would just like to go back to the question about, how much is a health coverage. I understand that I may not be able to give an exact, number, but from my own experience, a family of four with two children, no real health, concerns or issues or anything like that. Um, People can count for up to $200-300 a month to pay for that additional insurance, and this was in Alberta specifically. So again, that's for a family of four, just to have at least some kind of a starting point to think about.
Thank you for adding that. Regarding accommodation, do you offer accommodation search services for students who have families as well?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
do.
do. Oh, sorry, Christina.
No
Yes, we
problem.
do. Yes, we do. Just get in touch with us again. So just to let you know, the search, what we are doing for you is free of charge. I just wanted to add that to our to the conversation. So We do not charge for the accommodation search. So if you are in need of accommodation and you like to work with us together, there is no charge for you. So I just want to make sure, like, if you're thinking, because for me, I'm originally from Germany. So if you do come from the European countries, most of the time you do have to pay for search, or some agency will charge you fees. We do not do that. So feel free really to connect with us. We will be happy to help you in different ways based on your situation. So send us an email with your situation, just explaining, I myself come with 2 children, or with one, with my partner, and we're looking for 1 or 2 bedroom. This is the city where we want to be. Can you just let us know what options do we have? And again, this is free of charge. So feel free really to connect with us. We're here to help, and we'll find something for you for sure.
Thank you so much, ladies. It looks like we don't have any more questions for now. Is there anything you'd like to add before I move on to my slides?
I would just like to mention that if anybody has any more questions, maybe you remember something in a day or 2, please don't hesitate to email us at info@myrelosolution.com. We will be happy to answer any additional questions. If it's something that, employment related, then we will let you know, Sonia.
Perfect. So at this point, I'm just going to stop the SharePoint so Sonia can upload her share.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for participating in the webinar today. We do have our last webinar of the year. Yes, we're at the end of the year now. It's called Adapting to Canadian Workplace Culture, and it's being held tomorrow at 11 a.m. So just like you signed up for this one today, please go ahead and register for that one as well. And our webinars for January are also posted on our website, so check them out. We won't be hosting any webinars during the holidays. If you are interested in more resources, if you want to check out past webinars, you can go to our YouTube channel, or you can go to our e-resource center, eaccess.accessemployment.org, and you'll see tons of different resources, past webinars, there's quizzes, there's all sorts of different things to help you with your job search. And if you'd like to practice your English conversation skills, check out accessemployment.ca Talk English Cafe. Sign up. We have there's a session almost every day, and we have more sessions during the holidays as well. So people, it is hard right now being on lockdown. You can't talk to your friends or anybody. And if you want to practice speaking English, you're more than welcome to do it online with others who are also interested. And again, call your closest ACCESS location, and an employment consultant can start helping you with your job search. If you are overseas and you have your PR and you'll be joining us in Canada in the next few months, you can email cec@accessemployment.ca to see if you'd be eligible for the pre-arrival job search support program. And again, thank you all. Follow us on our social media to see what's going on here at ACCESS. We are active on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So thank you all for joining. I wish you happy holidays and a happy new year. And same to you, Rebecca and Christina.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays to everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, all.